Well, hello there, everyone. My name is Chesley, and this is Karen. Yes, we get to be here this afternoon, and we are with Wholesome Communication. Wholesome Communication. It's always good and clean and gonna be good for you. It's gonna be good for all of us because we tell the truth from God's holy word. And Chesley, it's so good to know that we have boys and girls out there that are going to hear maybe a story they've never heard before. We're going to talk about Korah's rebellion. Oh, who's him? Well, this is going to be a Bible character from the book of Numbers. Oh, is it going to be arithmetic? No, we're not going to be having arithmetic, but that is the name of this book in the Old Testament. What are they singing? Well, I guess that would be all right for you to sing. And I'm flirting with the girls. Well, that's a given, that you would be flirting with the girls. But that would be good for you to sing. It's going to be, welcome all of you. Glad you're with us. Shake hands around a time or two. Welcome to you. Welcome to you. Yes, we're glad they're here for Sunday afternoon Bible story. From the book of Numbers, chapter 16. God had chosen Moses to be the leader and to lead the people out of the bondage that they were in. They were serving as slaves in Egypt, and he was making a way that they could go free. He had chosen a leader named Moses. And so now he's going to dig John. He's the boss man. Yes, he's the big guy. He's the boss man. But when you are a leader, you have many responsibilities. It's no big deal. You just tell them what to do and they do it. Well, Chesley, doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you have people that don't agree. Well, if God says you're the man, then you're it. Well, he knew that God had chosen him, and he really had run from the job. He really wasn't interested in having this job. And so you're supposed to obey. He did obey. When the Lord chose him, it was difficult for him, but he chose it. And the Lord was using him. He gave him directions. He knew just exactly which way to go. But he had these three fellas come to him, and one of them's name was Korah, and one was named Dathan and Abiram. And they decided that Moses, he just thinks he's the boss man. And in fact, it was Korah that led that rebellion. And he didn't want to follow the leader. He did not want to follow the leader. And he told these fellas, he said, you know what? He just thinks he's the big it. I don't think it's true. It wasn't true, because the Bible tells us that Moses was very meek. He was just the meekest man you could ever find. The Lord had chosen this meek man, but yet he was strong, and he did the right thing. He did the right thing, yes, even when the people would come against him. But Korah, you notice, he didn't do wrong by himself. That's how it is. You don't like to do it by yourself. Yeah, that's it. Misery craves company. And he was mad. And he just didn't think that Moses should be the leader. He thought, well, he said, we're just as holy as he is, so I don't know why he gets to be the big it. And so he was a gossiper. He was a gossiper. That's what he was. He was just stirring up strife. So he talks to Dathan, and he talks to Abiram. So you had these three that they began talking among 250 of the really popular people among all of the children of Israel. And so he's just in this. Oh yes, he started a big mess. It was really bad, but it was a rebellion against really God's given authority. And we're supposed to love God. We love God, and he chooses leaders for us that can help us. It doesn't mean that they are gods, but they are our leaders. And is he kind of like being a coach? You could compare it to that. Maybe let's say you have a baseball team, and you've got a coach, and you've got the players, and the coach has some helpers. Oh yes, you always have helpers. But what if one of the helpers then decides tells the players, you don't have to do what the coach says, and then he tells someone else, he talks to the other helpers, and he talks to the other helpers and said, I don't really think that coach is doing a good job. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think I could do better. Guys, why don't we just... And they just start gossiping like that. And it causes all kinds of strife. And then the team can't play. The team doesn't know what to do. Coach says one thing. This helper over here says one thing. And this one says something else. And it causes great confusion. So that's what was happening, what was going on. And when Moses found out about it, I think he was shocked. He was shocked. He was hurt. He was heartbroken because he thought, I'm not trying to lord it over these people. I'm just doing what God says. And he said, fellas, you come together. He went before the Lord and he said, Lord, I want you to show them who you've chosen. If it's not me, whoever it is. But he knew God had chosen him. Well, they said that they weren't interested in doing anything that he said. They were just against him. Well, it came the time that they were told that they had to appear. They must appear. And so all of them, so here they all came together, and here they were, and there, and the Lord, he said, he's going to show who's who. He's going to show who it wants. So all your families come together. And so it's all of those guys. And so it's those three, and then how many more? Well, they had chosen 250 of these others. They had got to agree with them, started this rebellion. So everybody stood there at the door at their camp, all the men, their wives, their families. They were all there. And then so we're going to find out who the Lord has chosen. So we'll all know. Moses he was very serious before the Lord. He knew that Korah was doing wrong, and he hated for what was going to happen. Because you get in trouble, if you disobey, and here they were leading their families now, or they leading them to do their own thing. That's right. So it's really careful how men lead their families. It's very important to lead them right, because children can suffer. Well, what happened as Moses spoke, and he said, I've been talking to the Lord, and said, we're going to find out today. He said, if something highly unusual that's never happened before here happens, we're going to see that the Lord, he's going to show us who is who. It's going to be whether it's good or whether it's bad. And said, if that's what it's going to be. This is it. It's like he's drawn a line in the sand, like drawing a line in the sand. So this is it. And said, everybody get away from Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Get away from them. And why did he say that? Because they were the rebels. And he knew God was fixing to do something. And because Moses knew he was the right guy, Moses knew God had chosen him. And he didn't want anybody to suffer. And he said, people, get away from them. They're rebelling against godly leadership. God has chosen me. I didn't choose myself. And he said, and here my brother Aaron helps me. And God has... He's helping us. And so please get away, because these fellows are leading you wrong. And what did they happen? Well, the ones that believed in Moses and in godly leadership, they stood over. They got totally away from Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And all of a sudden then, what happened? Did the trumpet blow? No, there was no trumpet sound. I thought they had to be warned. They had been warned. The warning was get away, and there was plenty of time. And suddenly then, the ground just opened up. Oh no! And it swallowed in it opened them up. What opened up beneath Korah? There was his family, and there was Dathan and Abiram with their families. And suddenly the ground just had opened up, and it swallowed in up, and the people went running and screaming like crazy. Yes, they went screaming and screaming like crazy because they were afraid that he was going to swallow them. But they were on the Lord's side. They stood with the leader that God had chosen for them. It was Moses. And here was Aaron, that was his helper. And so they stood with them, and they wanted to follow the Lord. And they wanted to go to Canaan's land. They wanted to go to Canaan's land. And Korah had said, it isn't going to happen. He said, why, we had it a whole lot better in Egypt. No, they didn't. They were slaves. But, he saw things all crazy now. He didn't see things correctly anymore. Because he was listening to the devil. Yeah, that's it. He was listening to the devil. But what about all those people that followed him? So it pays to follow good leadership, to follow the one the Lord has chosen. And it's in God's Word. In God's Word, that's what we follow, what He says. And we have, like, pastors for us, and they need to follow the Lord. They follow the Lord. And if we have one that doesn't, then that has to be addressed. We don't want to stay with leadership that is not following the Lord. But it was a great day for Moses, in a way that he knew that God was proving. He wasn't trying to show off. He knew that God had chosen him. It was a hard job. And so then, they had peace and quiet. Well, they had peace and quiet for a while, but would you believe, Chesley, that there was even some people that said, look what Moses, it's because of him that these people have died. Isn't it something, Chesley, how some people just never learn? God had shown who he chose. So we have to keep making choices. We have to keep making choices. You know the right one. The right choice is just stay with God. Just stay with God. Follow his word. Follow the leader that he has chosen. And right now, Chesley, really the way it is, we are a team. But the thing is that I'm your leader. And what are you going to say? Are you going to open up the earth and kill me? No, I'm not going to open up the earth and kill you. I know what you're going to do. You're going to open that trunk up and throw me in it. Now, Chesley, the time has come that you need to go to bed. I sure don't, because I'm not sleepy and I've already been in that place, and I need you to I want to go outside and play. Chesley, you're not going outside and play. What you're going to do, and you're being mean to me. No, I'm not being mean to you. What you're doing is doing a stall job. So you tell everybody goodbye and tell kids to obey their parents, because that's their leaders. Yes, that's the leaders. And then in our church, we have a wonderful pastor, and so we need to follow that leadership. And right now, you're going to follow my leadership, because you're going to throw me in the trunk. Chesley, you're not going to be thrown in a trunk. Yeah, I see, you're taking me down now. Chesley, you're only going to bed. We will see you in just a while. Everything is fine. Goodbye, Chesley. Have a great evening there. Fast asleep.